Marty? I can't get out. Can you make sure that the microphone is on at the podium? Or maybe, you know what, maybe we should save the batteries and we'll turn it on when we get to public comment.
Hello, it is on.
Right, correct.
Do you want it on, or you want it shut
I
off
think-
to
I
public
think at the
comment?
end- Well, leave it on.
Leave it, okay.
Are we ready? Good afternoon, my name is Margaret Paul. We're not ready. Good afternoon, my name is Margaret Paul. I'm the Berwyn City Clerk. Today I'll be chairing the second meeting of the Municipal Officers Election Electoral Board. I'd like to introduce the people who are public members. On my right is Carrie Lynn Kraftheffer, and then on my left is James Carroll. And this is Mr. Michael Casper, who will be representing the board. Just as a brief summary, I'd like to let you know that we had our first meeting last week on the 12th. We met November 13th. Mayor Robert J. Lovero, who is under statute a member of the board, recused himself and then relayed to the board that Alderman Robert Fate, who would also be a statutory member, also recused himself. Alternatively, Alderman Lennon would sit on the board, and he also recused himself. We did not have a quorum. We then accepted appearances from attorneys representing all the objectors and respondents, and now all parties have filed their appearances with the board. So, we'll start our agenda with a roll call. Ms. Kraftheffer,
Here.
Mr. Carroll,
Here?
and Margaret Paul, clerk here. I'll now turn we're to agenda number 2, which is consideration of procedural rules. Hopefully, all the attorneys representing the parties received copies of the rules. And is there any comment from board members?
Mr. Casper, are these the standard rules that are used by most municipal boards throughout the state and some state board?
Yes, they are.
Okay. I make a motion to adopt them.
Seconded.
Those in favor, Ms. Kraftheffer,
Aye.
Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Margaret Paul, aye. Rules are adopted. I'd like to now turn over the proceedings to our board attorney, Mr. Casper.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Michael Casper, I'm the attorney for the board. I'm just going to quickly tick through the cases and ask you all to identify yourselves. Then we'll turn to the Objectors Council to give a brief description of the case, a brief response from the Candidates Council, and then we will decide the course of action from there. Okay?
Mr. Casper, just a minute. Could you make sure that all your microphones, the green button is lit so that you'll be heard? Also, I wanted to let you know that this procedure is being live streamed, and so please speak directly into the microphone. If you move one way or the other, it doesn't capture your voice, and people watching online won't be able to hear. Thank you.
Okay, the first case is Martinez versus Lovero, L-O-V-E-R, case number 25 MOEB01, for the objector.
For Citizen on behalf of the objector.
And for the candidate?
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski, Nelson-Jaworski, on behalf of the candidates.
Okay, for the objector, could you give us a brief snapshot of the case?
And then just,
Or
sorry.
did
the
you file a
preliminary-
motion?
Yeah, it was a motion
Oh,
to
okay.
withdraw. sorry.
There's been a motion by the Objectors Council to withdraw the objection. Counsel for the candidate, any objection to the motion?
No objection.
Okay, do we have a motion to adopt the motion to withdraw the objector's petition?
So moved.
Seconded.
Those in favor, Ms. Kraftheffer,
Aye.
Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Margaret Paul, aye.
Thank you both. Good start.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Next case is 25 MOEB-Mayor-02, where the objector is Aquino and the candidate is Avila. For the objector
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski.
and for the candidate.
Scott B. Erdman, E-R-D-M-A-N.
Okay, Ms. Jaworski, on behalf of the objector?
Yes, if it would please the board, I've consulted with my client, and they would like to withdraw this objection. I do have a motion to withdraw the objection that I'd like to file in Stanter.
Have you shared that with counsel?
I'm going to share it with him right this moment.
you.
Copies here.
Thank you.
It's just fairly standard.
Mr. Erdman, any objection?
No, sir.
All right.
No one to say, take yes for an answer.
Make a
as is
motion
the
to
old
grant the
saying.
motion to withdraw?
Seconded.
On the call, Ms. Craftheffer,
Yes.
Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Margaret Paul, aye.
Okay, and the next case is case number 25 MOEB-MAYOR-03, where the objector is Aquino and the candidate is Ruiz. For the objector, Ms. Jaworski?
Yes, Tiffany Nelson Jaworski, and we also earlier filed a motion to withdraw this one as well.
And on behalf of the candidate Ruiz?
Priscilla Sansano on behalf of the candidate.
And do you have any objection to the motion?
No, sir.
Okay, could we have a motion to accept the motion to withdraw the objector's petition?
So moved?
Seconded.
On the call of the roll, Ms. Craftheffer,
Yes.
Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Margaret Paul, aye.
And the next case, I'm sorry, I'm going too fast, I forgot to give you your minute. All right, all right. The next case is Emperatriz, Emperatriz Aquino versus Garcia, 25 MOEB City Clerk 02. On behalf of the objector
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski.
and for the candidate,
Scott B. Erdman, E-R-D-M-A-N.
okay, Ms. Jaworski?
Yes, there is no motion on this one, but I wanted to inform the board of the brief nature of the objection. Last year, the City of Berwyn, or actually earlier this year in March, the City of Berwyn adopted a new system of elections. And in that system of elections, it's very similar to how the City of Chicago does their nonpartisan elections, whereas the candidates can be elected in February, thereby obviating or, negating the need for a general election. So that is basically the basis of the objection, is that the petitions themselves are confusing because the petitions make it seem as if there is always going to be a general election and sometimes a primary election, whereas in the town of Berwyn, or City of Berwyn rather, it works differently. There is always going to be a primary and sometimes going to be a general. And we do have some affidavits related to said confusion.
Okay, Mr. Erdman?
I will be following motion strike.
Okay, is that your motion?
It is.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Brought enough gum for everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Erdman.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, Ms. Jaworski, do you acknowledge receipt of a copy of the candidate's motion to strike?
I do.
Okay, would you like the opportunity to respond?
Yes, I would. If I could get until Thursday to file a response?
Thursday is, today is the 18th,
The 21st?
21st. 11/21. Mr. Erdman, would you like a reply?
Yes. See, Saturday, 48 hours?
23rd,
Yes.
okay. And a date for a hearing on the motion? I am unavailable next week, beginning Tuesday, for the holiday break. So I could do Monday or the week after Thanksgiving.
I can do the same Monday or the week after.
I can't do Monday due to prior existing hearings.
How about December the 2nd, Monday?
I'm available.
I'm available as well.
You're available? Yeah, okay. Is council the second?
My only conflict is I do have other electoral board hearings at noon.
Mr. Erdman?
I'm open so far.
Same time, 2 PM?
Yeah, we should be done with those, yeah.
2 PM. All right, 2 PM it is. Thank you both. And if there are any factual disputes, we'll deal with how to handle those depending on the outcome of the motion.
12, I'm sorry,
12-2 at 2 PM.
Okay.
And can we set a literal time for the response and reply?
Oh,
Like
5 PM?
8 o'clock, 10 o'clock?
Oh, sure,
Just
Wha-
not
whatever
that.
time is convenient for you.
It's not 11:59.
5 PM? 6 PM?
5 PM is fine.
5 PM? Scott?
Would it be
Yes.
possible to maybe push it back a half an hour to like 2:30?
Sure, 2:30 on the 2nd, does that work?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Okay, that's convenient for us?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
2:30 PM, no problem. That probably works better, anyway. All right, the next case is Aquino versus Gomez, case number 25 MOEB Treasurer 01, for the objector.
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski.
And for the candidate,
Scott B. Erdman, Erdman.
okay. Is this case present the same issue as in the previous case, Ms.
Yes.
Jaworski?
Yes.
Agreed, Mr. Erdman?
Agreed.
All right, same schedule? Would you like to consolidate the two cases for briefing?
That would be fine with me.
Unless
Do you have do you have a motion ready for this one?
I do.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it would be fine with me to do one response for, I guess, each attorney. I'm assuming I'm going to have, obviously, multiple attorneys I have to respond to. So it would be fine with me if the cases in which Scott Erdman is the attorney for the candidates.
Okay, do you
if we
have-
combine that?
Any objection to Mr. Jaworski filing a combined response? And you could file a combined reply, since it's the same issue.
I don't have any objection to, throughout this process, combining the process, but I'm not accepting consolidating the cases.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
So then I would make a motion to adopt the same briefing schedule as we adopted in City Clerk -02 for this.
Seconded.
Now, let me just get a clarification. So so they're consolidating it for briefing, but we're not consolidating the cases? Is that what you were objecting to, or?
I think that's what Mr. Erdman
We're
was saying.
allowing the filing of briefs that address all the candidates, because it's the exact same thing, but at this time, I haven't even thought about the consolidation question, so.
So are there legal issues that are different in the case, or you don't?
No, the legal issues are the same when it comes down to potential fact evidence as it relates to actual confusion. Should this survive the motion to strike and dismiss, then the cases will have different evidence, but for the sake of the actual legal issue, it is identical.
Okay, thank you.
And I think as long as we're rolling down the same schedule and everything, consolidation isn't a question at this time.
Yeah.
Anyway, for the
Yeah,
convenience
I would say so.
of the board or the parties.
Yeah, and if it pleases the board, when we do actually argue it, if it would be okay just for the sake of judicial economy to argue it all at once, per attorney, obviously. Because Mr. Mullen may have different arguments than Mr. Erdman or Mr. Solomon.
Ms. Kraftheffer, could you repeat your motion?
So I make a motion to adopt the same briefing schedule as we adopted in the case 25 MOEB City Clerk -02. So the
And-
objector's response by Thursday, candidate by Saturday, hearing 12/2 at 2:30.
And that was seconded by Mr. Carroll. I'll call the
Yes.
roll. Ms. Kraftheffer,
Aye.
Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Margaret Paul, aye.
Okay, the next case is Maroney, Maroney v. Caldwell, Caldwell, case number 25 MOEB-Alderman-1-01, for the objector.
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski.
And for the candidate,
Ed Mullen.
Okay, Mr. Jaworski?
Same issue as in the other objections.
Okay. Mr. Mullen, you've heard the schedule in the previous cases. Would you be willing to agree to that schedule?
Well, I don't have a motion to give today, so
okay,
I
fine.
do not. Could
All right.
we adopt the schedule that we adopted in Cicero earlier?
Could you read that?
Yes, so motion to dismiss November 21st by 5 p.m., an opposition brief November 25th by 5 p.m., reply November 27th by 5 p.m., and then oral argument on the 2nd,
At 2:30 p.m.
2:30 p.m.
Mr.
I am
Jaworski?
agreeable to that schedule.
Okay. Members of the board?
Yes, that works.
That's fine.
Okay.
And
I move that we adopt that schedule for this case.
Seconded.
Ms. Craftheffer,
Aye.
Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Paul, aye.
And if I may also ask the board, I represent the candidate in Alderman 1-01, which is this case. I also represent the candidates in Alderman 2, Alderman 3, Alderman 5, and Alderman 8. And I would ask that we, for purposes of the motion to dismiss, consolidate the briefing and argument on those cases.
I have no objection to that. I represent the objectors in each one of those cases.
Okay, so for purposes of, well, we'll get to that when we get there. Do you need to go? No, okay, fine. All right, well, we'll do that. All right, the next case is Maroney v. Salazar, S-A-L-A-Z-A-R, case number 25 MOEB 1-02. For the objector,
For the objector, Tiffany Nelson Jaworski, and I do also have a motion to withdraw on this one.
okay, and for the candidate,
Max Solomon, S-O-L-O-M-O-N, on behalf of the candidate, and I have no objection to the withdrawal.
okay.
I make a motion then to accept or grant the motion to withdraw.
Seconded.
Thank you, counsel.
Okay, and we'll call Ms. Craftheffer,
Aye.
Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
and Paul, aye.
Okay, thank you both. The next case is 25 MOEB Alderman 2, Green versus Bowman. For the objector
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski.
and for the candidate,
Ed Mullen?
pursuant to earlier discussion, we have proposed a briefing schedule of a motion to dismiss from the candidate by November the 21st, a response by the objector by November the 25th, a reply by the candidate by November the 27th, and a hearing on that motion on Monday, December the 12th at 2:30 p.m. Agreed?
Agreed.
Mr. Mullen?
Yes.
Okay. May we-
So I would make a motion to adopt that schedule and to consolidate this matter with Alderman 1-01.
1-, yes, 01.
Seconded.
Ms. Craftheffer,
Aye.
Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Paul, aye.
Okay. The next case is Vences, V-E-N-C-E-S versus Brock, B-R-O-C-K, case number 25 MOEB Alderman 3. For the objector
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski.
and for the candidate,
Ed Mullen?
this case involves the same issues and would adopt the same briefing schedule as the previous two?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, please.
Mr. Mullen, agreed?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to adopt the same briefing schedule and to consolidate this case with
Seconded.
1-01 and 2.
Seconded.
On the call of the roll, Ms. Craftheffer,
Aye.
Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Paul, aye.
The next case is Tomasino, T-O-M-A-S-I-N-O, the Ostaszewski, O-S-T-A-S-Z-E-W-S-K-I, case number 25 MOEB Alderman 4. For the objector
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski.
and for the candidate,
Scott B. Erdman, E-R-D-M-A-N.
okay. Is this case, Mr. Jaworski, similar to the others?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and Mr. Erdman, do you have a motion in this one?
I do.
council, then I would propose the same schedule as that in case number City Clerk 02.
No
which
objection.
would involve a response to the motion by November the 21st, a reply by the 23rd, and a hearing on December the 2nd at 2:30 PM.
Yes.
Agreed, Mr. Jaworski?
Yes.
Mr. Erdman?
Yes.
Okay.
So moved.
On the call, did we have a second?
Or second?
Seconded, I'm sorry, yes, I'm still writing. Seconded.
Ms. Kraftheffer,
Aye.
Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Paul, aye.
Okay. The next case is Ramos, R-A-M-O-S, versus Pabon, P-A-B-O-N, 25 M-O-E-B, Alderman 5, for the objector,
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski.
and for the candidate.
Ed Mullen?
Okay, Mr. Mullen is, and Mr. Jaworski, is this the same case as the others?
Yes, sir.
Same schedule as case number ALD 01 and ALD 02 and 3.
Yes.
Agreed, Mr. Mullen?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to establish the same briefing schedule and to consolidate this with the cases Mr. Casper just named.
Seconded.
Ms. Kraftheffer,
Aye.
Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Paul, aye.
And the next case is Aquino versus Aquino, A-Q-U-I-N-O, v. Bain, B-A-N-E. Case number 25 M-O-E-B, Alderman 7, for the objector.
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski, and we do have a motion to withdraw on this one as well.
Okay.
Or withdraw the objection.
A-L-D 7.
Is there any objection to the motion?
Alderman 7. This is Alderman 7.
Okay.
Bain is the candidate. Any objection to the motion from the candidate?
Yes.
Wait,
Okay.
motion of the candidate or motion of the?
Or I'm
Objector.
motion of the objector.
Okay. I would make a motion then to grant the motion of withdrawal.
Seconded.
On the call of the roll, Ms. Kraftheffer,
Aye.
Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Paul, aye.
And then finally, the last case is case number 25 M-O-E-B, Alderman 8, Nowak, N-O-W-A-K, versus Carmichael, C-A-R-M-I-C-H-A-E-L, for the objector
Tiffany Nelson Jaworski.
and for the candidate.
Ed Mullen?
Okay, Mr. Jaworski and Mr. Mullen, I assume that this, you would propose the same schedule as in case number ALD 101.
Yes.
Case number ALD 1, 2, and 3,
And
Yes.
5. Right.
And 5.
and 5. Right. Right.
So, all right, so move to adopt that schedule and to consolidate these all together?
Seconded.
Ms. Kraftheffer,
Aye.
Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Paul, aye.
Okay, all right, so we have a schedule. All cases will be continued until December the 2nd at 2:30 PM, except for those that have been withdrawn. Is there anything further from any counsel for the objectors?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Anything further from counsel for the candidates?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, that concludes the call of the cases.
Mr. Casper, I do have my public member oath, which I would just like to place in the record. I have one for each, and I've tendered them to the chair of the electoral board for inclusion in the files.
Okay, great.
I didn't know we had this either, so I have to prepare one.
I didn't know that was such a thing.
It's required under the
All right, will you,
Cook County code.
email a form?
I sure will,
Thanks.
If you could include me, I would appreciate that.
sure.
And I can, if we don't have each other's emails, I have everybody's.
I think we have each other's, we've exchanged.
All right, well, there's a reason why there was other business on the, any other business?
I sure should have known that, but,
All right, you want to open for public comment?
Yes, thank you. The chair will entertain public comment.
Hello. My name is Winnie Krause. I'm a Berwyn resident of the 2nd Ward. I'm here to read a statement. I don't know how the review panel exactly makes its decisions, but it sounds like the challenges based on some language details that is not the purpose of challenges who are for keeping fraud at bay with false signatures, etc. I hope this being the first time Berwyn will have this nonpartisan election, it being the first time of this new process, and the signatures all being legit, all candidates should be able to run. I was not confused when I signed the petition. I personally signed Brian Brock's petition. So did my husband, and we were not confused. Also, I just want to make a general state that if this is the first time and the City of Berwyn has like some new rules, they should be providing these this kind of documentation. So, you know, one party doesn't have like some inside knowledge and has the correct petitions that can't be objected to. Because how would you know what to put on a ballot if Illinois has like something that they provide, but the City of Berwyn does not accept it? Thanks for that. And then I just wanted to, my friend cannot be here at this time because she's actually working. Ann Filmer, she is a second ward resident, and she said she signed multiple sheets for different candidates because she believes everybody has a right to be on the ballot. She signed Joshua's and was not confused by the wording. Joshua Bowman. She also signed Richard Leisure's petition when she was asked to sign for it by my house. She believes strongly that people should have a right to be on the ballot. I believe everyone should have the opportunity to get on the ballot and run a campaign. Why would people who sign multiples get thrown out? That's something else that's happening. We're only signing to get them on the ballot. People need choices. If we don't have a choice, and if our city leaders are spending efforts to not give the people of Berwyn choices, then they are obstructing democracy. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I just wanted to state for the record at this time that the Open Meetings Act requires the board to entertain public comment, and we will do that for everybody. But any comments that anybody makes are not evidentiary in nature, and we won't be considering them at all in any of our deliberations on these matters.
Any other people wishing? Okay, I don't see anyone else. Yes, please come up.
Letty Garcia, Berwyn resident. I'm also letting everybody here know that everybody who signed the petitions are not confused by what they signed. And this seems, for several of us residents and constituents, that it seems that this is just buying time. Therefore, the people who are trying to get on the ballot are they have a lot of expenses, they have a lot of time that is being taken away from them, dedicating it from their campaign. Instead, what we're doing is wasting time here while we should be out here talking to our residents. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Steve Taylor. I live in the 3rd Ward. I was one of the residents who collected signatures for Brian Bach. I collected 2 pages worth. I walked up and down the streets, rode my bike around, and met my neighbors, talked to my friends in the ward, and collected their signatures. I personally was not confused about the content on the petitions I was collecting signatures for, nor were anyone I was collecting signatures for. Appreciate there is a process to hear this. I know that the candidates who are trying to be on the ballot are trying to do that in good faith to be good public servants and serve office on behalf of the residences. However, I don't feel as though there's good faith with frivolous objections being filed just to weigh down the process or restrict ballot access. So I'm looking forward to having a fair and transparent process looking at these objections and doing what's right for the residents in the community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michael Bain. I'm one of the candidates for the 7th Ward. I want to thank the objector to my petition for withdrawing their objection, and I want to thank Ms. Martinez and the individual that objected to Rigo's petition for withdrawing those as well. I think that's a great start, and I just want to appeal to the rest of the objectors if you could consider that your neighbors, your friends, other people that are residents in Berwyn do want to have their voice heard when it comes to the election. If you could consider withdrawing yours as well. Thank you.
Last call for public comment. Anybody else? All right, see no one else stepping up. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Seconded?
On the call of the roll, Ms. Kraftheffer?
Aye.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Paul, aye. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you. Great to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Welcome aboard.
Now, how will you get the materials to us by email?
Sure, what do you need?
Well, when they do the briefings.
So I think under the rules, they have to file with Mike.
Yeah, let's turn these up.
So if they send it to Mike.
Yeah.